Yeah. Oh, they don't even hear a word I say when I rap. I'll burn a flag, rubbing to make America great again. It's that David and Goliath, I'ma slay my own dragons. Dragging out my words like drag racing a jag. With the Freemason, I'm relaying the facts. 808s add to a 4-4 clap, that's basic math. My past a winding road, but I can find my home. Like Dorothy in some slippers standing on a tippy toes. You pushing yellow bricks, we in a fellowship of souls. Where anyone could die like a Game of Thrones episode. Yo, you never know until it's too late. Me, I flip a coin with heads on either side of it like I'm Two-Face. Living up out of a suitcase, my closet seems scary now. Too many skeletons in it, it's like a burial ground. Y'all need a Ouija board whenever we record. Y'all get the heebie-jeebies, say that boy's a heathen and he needs the Lord. But I know God up on a first name basis. Still don't got no entourage to show me Vinny Chase love. It's still me, Major, connected to the universe. For the afterlife, I'm only here collecting souvenirs. So who's the weirdest boy you see? Me, you probably right. Pretentious, what I say, yo mama not gon' like. Namaste, wearing moccasins. Assalamu alaikum, reading Alan Watts, singing like Shaka Khan with my chakra bright. A starving artist giving food for thought to feed your appetite. It's yin and yang, so what I'm saying is only half is right. Like, I've been told a lot of things before. I'm not sure if I can make my mind up. I've been beaten, bruised and sore. I'm still trying to hold my light up. Hold my light, hold my light up. Hold my light, hold my light up. Hold my light, hold my light up. All my life, God, I've been told a lot of things before. I'm not sure if I can make my mind up. I've been beaten, bruised and sore. I'm still trying to hold my light up. Hold my light, hold my light up. Hold my light, hold my light up. Hold my light, hold my light up.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? Welcome back to another live stream here. If you're new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. I am jumping right onto the chart because we got some movement to the downside and I want to pay attention. Make sure you read that disclaimer. It is in the description of this video. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing you see or hear is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything or financial advice of any kind. I'm just an idiot on YouTube checking out the markets with you guys. I am on TopstepX here. I got a 50K XFA loaded up and might be coming into an opportunity here. So I'm going to save my frustrating back and forth morning prior to this with this choppiness for a later review. But red on the morning in XFA after multiple break evens that came one within the exact tick of hitting my take profit, only to come back and stop me at break even. But we got some choppy action here, man, after some decent move overnight to the upside, putting in fresh highs, big crack to the upside at the open here at 9:30 a.m. Right here, actually, Dow was cracking to the upside, 925 candle. You can see that. We are selling off right now. After this choppy back and forth testing VWAP, this was the move I was shorting into multiple times before hopping in and just didn't get it. But now that we're down here, I am going to look for this edge full gap to fill, which I will show you the stats on this right down here. And potentially look for a quick bounce play back up to VWAP. There is a case to be made to buy it from right over here because we got this level kind of right above all this action. But I'm going to stick to what I have on here. Stick to what I have on my chart. If we bounce here, I might not look for the same setup. Yeah, we're bouncing here. I would have liked this push down to continue a little bit further down into the zone, maybe fill this gap real quick. Look for a quick buy back up towards VWAP. Stop loss could be down below these lows, somewhere down here. 40, 50, 60 points, just depending on what the entry looked like. But we are getting that bounce back up to VWAP right now. So just going to wait. Just going to take a little minute and wait here. Very choppy back and forth. Big price action on Dow, as you can see. Got Bookmap over on the side. Again, watching Edgeful's gap fill report. Looking at this gap up, not being filled yet. Take a look at that together in a minute. But I appreciate you guys for hopping on, running this one early, as I discussed yesterday and into today. Going to try to get some trading in with you guys. And yeah, the market's moving. So let's see what we get. See what we get, boys and girls. Yeah, NQ and ES really sold off harshly in the morning. Looking at the 9:30 candle on both of those, right down to VWAP. We did get that on Dow. This was a frustrating move as well, man. Was looking for a short back down to VWAP. This would have played beautifully, but that's what happens sometimes, man. Getting ready to press the hell out of the 50K XFAs that I have left and look to rotate into some 150Ks. Once I get past the 50K combines that I already have passed into XFAs. So we're going to start pressing some accounts, man. We're going to get some larger red days and some larger green days on the way to some larger profits, man. That's the game plan. All the way back up to VWAP, a sell could be in store if I was looking at this thing bearish all the way down to this gap. I'm going to see what happens up here. Again, buy was going to be from the extreme down at this zone if we did come all the way back down and fill this gap, anticipating kind of what we saw right here, which is just a quick move back up to VWAP. Now we are retesting VWAP after breaking below it harshly. This is a hell of a pullback up, though. So I'm going to wait and see what kind of price action we get up here. A short from this level could be in store. This doesn't look terrible. You know, maybe you say stop loss somewhere up above these highs. Maybe you are going to go for a big continuation of the downside. Maybe you say retest of this zone right here looks pretty good. 60-point stop loss. If it has to come all the way back up here and test these highs, I'm out. I think this is going to continue down. I'm going for a retest of VWAP, not waiting for any confirmation. I don't like this because I think we can wick right back up here really quickly. So I'm not going to do anything at the moment. Again, want to get trading in with you guys. This is a lot of chop. This is a lot. A lot of back and forth, man. Buying the lows, selling the highs would have been the play here. I was selling down here towards the end of the session, or the end of my NYSE open session, looking for this crack down below towards this gap. After taking some trades within this that played out very close to being winners. So frustrating morning session, but that is how trading goes sometimes. So let's see where we go from here. I'm not incredibly bullish on this. I just don't have it in me just yet. If we got down to this zone, I would be. If we filled this gap, if we retested these highs, this area that's been tested a couple times, I'd like that for a long from down low, really aggressively. Again, stop loss could be down below here, somewhere really far. If we had to come all the way down, we probably are continuing, with a nice move to the downside. That would give me a really nice move back up to VWAP and back up to the highs. But we're pulling all the way back up now. So let's see where we go from here. Initially coming into the morning, I was bullish, trying not to marry a bias, but looking for a place to get long. Then we just got the back and forth movement here. So stay patient for a bit, but I'm going to look to jump in an area that may make sense for me. We obviously have this pretty well-respected, not a trend line guy, but that one's pretty obvious there, and this is pretty obvious down on the bottom. So we got a pretty gnarly channel going on right here. Again, just using that to display structure to you guys. I'm not a trend line guy. I'm not selling up here and buying down here. Just not my play. I like horizontal levels over trend lines that way. So I don't have a setup right now. That was going to be close. Now we come all the way down lower again. After this type of movement, my setup is just not valid. So I'm not getting it. This continuing down here, I'm long right from this zone all the way back up. Who knows how that would have played out? That's a different move completely. But now that we have this type of movement, I'm not buying the initial test. Well, I'm buying the initial test of this level, but I'm buying after a big pullback all the way up to trade across this price and then continuation down. Just continuing this channel to the downside, if that's what we did. So that's not the same setup. I'm really not too excited about that one. But we'll stay patient. We'll see what we get. That's the game plan. Bookmap, nothing crazy on Bookmap. Really most of this week. Had some levels pop up here and there, but no major levels on Dow like I had been seeing. So nothing absolutely crazy on Bookmap. Again, appreciate you guys being on. Thanks for being here if you're on. We only got a few of you guys. That's cool. We'll run it. We'll run it early. But we got some boys from Discord doing well. Ninja Man, if you're on here or you watch this later, he's been absolutely killing it. Really early in the morning, absolutely crushing it. There is a gentleman whose Discord username is Tony Hawk. He shared a bunch of XFAs that he locked up, 50Ks and 150Ks. Started copy trading them today, and looks like he's green across all of them. Really, really cool. Awesome to see. Michael, well done today, man. Appreciate you sharing the charts and the trades. Very, very nice. Caught the longs to the upside. Looks good, man. Looks good. But yeah, if you guys aren't in the free Discord, hop in the free Discord. Been responding back to everybody. Wow. Somebody shared a whole bunch of XFA and combines getting killed today. Sorry to see that, brother. Sorry to see that. No stop loss. Yeah, that'll do it, man. That'll do it. Sorry to see that, dude. Refocus, take a step away. That's a lot of them blown. I'm assuming that was a bunch of resets, or fresh accounts that you were buying, maybe on tilt. So just take a step away. If you are just consistently blowing through combines and XFAs like that, I'd take a step back, man. Step back and reset. That's pretty gnarly. Happens, though. Are we just going to continue this channel? Is that it? Is that the move for Dow? Fixing to find out, as they say. Right now, guys, again, I'm looking for this to break. I'm looking for this to break at a certain point. I'm really not interested in trading within this. At the open, as I've discussed on Dow, I don't mind getting involved really early, right off of specific levels. This was super aggressive to the upside. I was looking for a short right around the 500s, 43, 500. Took that off. Would have played pretty nicely, but would have got really close to stop me out. If I ran a 40-point stop, I wouldn't have made it. Didn't give me a chance to get back short on the way back down to VWAP. Occurred pretty damn quickly, but that would have played. Took this thing short and long off of VWAP a couple times. Again, really early in the morning, I like to play off that volatility. And got within it. I'll share the order later. Within it actually traded the same point that I had my take profit set at, but just didn't hit. Had another one that wasn't $200 some odd in profit. Very similar, came within 2 or 3 points before coming back to stop me at break even. After that, I was looking at this starting to look bearish and weak, coming down to VWAP again, targeting a level down here as well as the edge full gap. And tried this short a bunch of times and just didn't get it, man. Just didn't get it. So a lot of trades for me, ending red, frustrating morning, but that's part of the game, man. It's part of it. Journal, review, and improve. Now, after recognizing that, watching this chop, want to find a way in, but with this type of channel, let me get rid of this. I'm not going to keep drawing the same line. This type of channel, the downside, I want to see this thing break, maybe to the upside like we're going to do here. Kind of feels like it. This was buyers stepping directly back in and bringing the price all the way back up. Let's see what happens when we get to the top of this trend line and the bottom of this trend line. Are we going to reject and actually come down lower? Are we going to continue this move higher after this just choppy movement? Maybe we get a setup within that. But I will say this structure doesn't make it super easy to structure risk, right? Let's say you want to get long from here. Where are you putting a stop loss on this? You've got 100 points of price action in Dow, before the most recent low put in on the 5-minute chart, 3 5-minute bars back. You go right below the current 5-minute bar, right below the the next one. But look at how that would have worked out for you all day. Would have been pretty trash. So it's setting up with some ugly structure, man. And again, I know I've been on here not taking trades and just like not getting setups, and I will keep doing that if I have to. So this is just silly stuff, man. Crazy moves, not crazy moves, but decent moves during Asian session, all the way up, putting highs in right into the open, and then just big choppy channels on Dow. Let's take a look at NQ. Make sure the VWAP's in the right area. Sell off right at the open, man. Yep, big sell-off right at the open, down to VWAP, and we've really been failing to get above it, although we've kind of bottomed down here. Just zooming out on the 5-minute to take a look. Really bullish move in the overnight session to the upside after this choppy back and forth movement that we had during NYSE session. This is yesterday's NYSE session, right? Yeah, 9:30. Interesting, man. Really interesting structure that we're getting out of the market. So I'm going to see where this continues. We've had some movement. We've had some volatility. It feels like the choppy back and forth before maybe some of this starts to pick up again. So I'm going to hang with you guys for a bit. Probably going to look towards the NYSE lunchtime before I decide to wrap it up. Looking at ES, put an all-time high in. If I look at the 9:30 candle, same type of move from ES straight to the downside. Cracked VWAP. Chopped around a little bit, and now we are just testing it and failing to get above. Yeah, man, if I was marking this chart up straight from the 5, that's what I would have been paying attention to on the way back up. Pretty obvious level right there, coming off of this high. Yeah, I might go for something super duper wide like that. And then all of these lows down here. Interesting. Interesting stuff, guys. We got movement, though. This week has been pretty gnarly. I'll tell you that. Definitely some movement. So I'm interested to see what we get for the rest of the day. Again, I'm trading Dow, watching Dow. I try not to explain that on every single live stream because the guys that are on consistently probably get pretty bored of me saying the same thing over and over again. Don't have anything immediate, right? I'm not getting ready to set an order or a limit order. Nothing immediately setting up. I want to see us come out of this choppiness. I'm really not interested in just creating which I see guys do a lot of times. Just you watch the first 5-minute bars print, and based on that price action, you go, oh, that's just going to continue for forever, and we're going to stay within this channel, and I'm going to start trading that. And that's my new system that I just created right here and right now. That's not a great way to trade. You should have your edge, your system, back tested, and if it's not setting up or you take some choppiness back and forth, take yourself out for a second, wait for the market to do something that actually gives you some kind of entry criteria and a way to structure risk on the way in. So that's where I'm at right now. Bookmap, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Again, appreciate you guys hopping on. If you're on for the earlier session, feel free, hit like, hop in the free Discord. Links in the description to Discord and the 2 companies that I'm partnered with, Edgeful and Bookmap. You can try Edgeful for free. Bookmap is a heavy discount. So I'll show you Edgeful while we are waiting, man. This is a pretty cool feature from Edgeful. I've been sharing this one a lot. I posted this on Twitter this morning. As soon as this loads up. As soon as we load up here, let's see. Let's go, Edgeful. What's going on here, man? There we go. This is Edgeful. And what we are looking at here is the gap fill report in the what's in play section. So this is giving you real-time data for reports that are developing right here, right now. What this report is measuring is the gap from the close of prior day to the open of today. And it's telling you, it's taking a look at where price is right now, where that current gap is, letting you know if it's open or if it's filled, not filled, the bias. It gives you the gap size, the target, and it just continues to update. It also gives you the stats on this specific report for the last 6 months. Almost 75% of the time, gaps are filled. That is what we were looking at on this. You can see the past few sessions, last 5 gap ups, mostly filled, right? So what this is looking at is pretty good shot of us coming down here to fill this gap. In general, when we're comparing data over the last 6 months, right? Not to be used on its own, right? Just YOLOing into trades long or short based on one specific statistic that occurs over NYSE session. Probably not a good way to trade, but you make yourself aware of some of these statistics. You combine it with price action, market structure, VWAP, maybe some other tools that you like, not just the tools that I use. They can be pretty powerful. So this is the one that I was watching this morning. Posted this chart, let you guys know you could check this stuff out for your own instrument. They have a ton on here, a whole bunch of different reports, not just this one. These are more that are either forming or just displaying what has happened so far with real-time data. So really, really cool thing from Edgeful. You don't have to think too hard. You pop right on here, check out what's in play right before the open, take a look, and you can get some stats for the way price may move into the open, or at least how it has moved in the past, over the past 6 months, year, 2 years, whatever data you want to look at. You guys want to check out Edgeful, you could check that out for free trial. I think that is a pretty sweet offer from them. You can run through all the reports for your instrument, decide if it's something that you want to watch, decide if it's something that you want to utilize in your trading, and if not, no risk. Bookmap, heavy discount, but it is a subscription, so got to put some money up front to test that one. Not a lot, man. Not a lot out of Dow. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for this one, guys. I'd really like to get a setup with you here. I'm getting tired of no trade sessions, so I'm going to hang. I'm not going to force it, but I'll sit patient for a while. We'll put some time in here. We'll chill out. If you guys got questions, feel free. If you are in the chat, I'll pick out some decent questions that I see from the YouTube chat. If not, hop in the Discord, man. I'll take questions from there. I'll talk about what we're looking at in Discord. And if you're not in the free Discord, man, hop in the free Discord. Oh, yeah. Excited to get through the last couple 50K combines that I have. Just talking about my trading. I got myself in this situation where I just loaded up with way too many 50K combines on the front end, passed enough to start trading XFAs, and then just had too many to trade on the back burner. So it's been nice to kind of just weed through all of those. I got 2 more that I'm going to press really hard, either pass them or blow them probably in the next couple days, and then be focused on aggressively trading the 50K XFAs that I have with a high chance of blowing them on the way to bigger profits, because I have more 50K XFAs passed, ready to go if spots open up, and because I'd like to move into 150K XFAs. I'm going to start trading 150K combines as well. So I'm looking at trading the 50K XFAs much more aggressively, as well as 150K combines into, loading up some ones on backup for eventually rotating out of these 50K XFAs. If you are interested in all that, you want to stay updated on it, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and of course in Discord. I give you guys the why behind everything that I'm doing, and you can kind of just understand the thought process and watch the progress along the way, right? But it's been fun to stay actually it hasn't been too fun, I'll be honest. It's been painful to stay really true to the goal of being slow and steady with the 50K XFAs that I get, work towards payouts, work towards a payout before losing any of them, checked small payout, checked off those boxes. And now I'm comfortable that I got proof of concept down, ready to start scaling up, put some money into TopStep and get rolling with some larger accounts. That's what I believe it's going to take to work towards some larger profits, man, right? More risk, more reward. That's the name of the game. So excited about that, man. Excited about that. And it's been interesting, man. It's fun. It's fun to watch social media and YouTube and Twitter, and the posts that blow up. It's always the big profit numbers, right? That's what people want to see. And, it's cool, right? If you're working towards your nice small payouts, you're slow and steady in small, XFAs or trading small live accounts. Not too interesting. People just don't want to see it. They don't care to see it. The big payout number, the 10K day, the 50K day, the 100K day, or week or payout or whatever the numbers are, that's the stuff that grabs people's attention. But if you're sharing what's going on behind the scenes for that, if you're sharing like, hey, I'm about to get aggressive and lose some XFAs on the way to this, I think that's helpful. Some guys are. TopStep TV was talking about a dude who took a pretty gnarly L, man. And I saw it on Twitter also. MP commented on it, so it was on my thing this morning, but I follow the guy. Anyway, I think he's someone that has taken like, 10K payouts, 20K payouts, had big, huge days, and like lost an XFA yesterday and then had like a $16,000 profit in the same day, which is cool. Actually like tweeted at him, he responded, but then posted that like lost XFAs and was resetted like 15 times in 150K combine, something along those lines. Just went on crazy tilt, blew through accounts, just absolutely ran through combines. And I think it was really cool that he shared all that. I think it was cool that he shared like a really, really tough day specifically, because I don't think he posts everything, which is fine. But after posting big profits and stuff, to share like that going on, I think was helpful to frame expectations. And in general, to know that like the guys that are putting up these big numbers, some of them are not. You get the Dakotas of the world that are in live accounts and, they're slow and steady in one type of deal. But a lot of these guys that are putting up these big numbers in XFAs are putting real money behind that, which is okay if you're getting a positive return on your investment to a degree, I think. Probably not okay to go on tilt like that, but that's what goes on behind the scenes. So I've been talking about that a little bit more because it's, closer to what I'm getting ready to do, get more aggressive in these accounts. And again, for me, it's not for the views. It's not for putting up big numbers for anybody else, or else I would have done that already. I would have done it, months ago. It's just the natural progression of starting to scale up. Do it small, do it slow, do it low, and then do it bigger. That's the way to go. So we're cracking out of this range, right? We're cracking to the upside. I'm watching this chart, and we are starting to push this to the upside. Let's see, man. Let's see what we get. Coming up towards these highs. Nothing really helped me on Bookmap. Long plays could be in the near future. Some kind of structure to trade long off of. That's what I'm looking at. Long from down here, had this continued and filled this gap, would have been beautiful. I'm not looking short down to fill this gap now that we've really left it in the dust. Looks like we're going to come up to the upside and test the high of the session, the initial balance high. I'm interested to see where we go from here, man. Are we just going to start running to the upside? It certainly feels that way, and I'm looking long, right? Pretty obvious now. But I'm going to need some structure. I'm going to need something. I'm going to need something to happen. Something to trade off of. Some way to structure risk in an area that makes sense. Down below a low like that, or down below a low like that. So, let's see what we get. Take a look at our friends. ES, kind of starting to accept above the VWAP. This looks like we might want to move higher, but certainly not confirmed at all. Could just be in the exact same channel. And NASDAQ looks like it wants to pop as well after putting this higher low in, retesting it, kind of got a double bottom deal going here and, back up at VWAP. Had a chance to continue bouncing from it, and we're trying to take it higher. Looks like buyers want to step in. And of course, Dow just in its own world completely. Different structure, different movement, completely in its own world. Which is why I talked about not really paying attention to the correlation between Dow and the other US indices. I don't find it helpful for me personally. I think a lot of guys do well with that. For me, it hurts me more than it helps me. Again, watching Bookmap over to the side. I'll throw that up on the chart here. My favorite order flow tool. If you guys want to try out Bookmap, you can. Heavy discount on Bookmap. Fair warning, I am a partner with Bookmap and Edgeful. Disclaimer in the description and on all the other stuff that I post. Love Bookmap, man. But we'll leave this up to the side here. I might have to get rid of these just so this kind of comes up closer and we could watch the chart a little bit cleaner. Got some volume being traded here. Obviously, we got some movement out of candles. You can see that in the volume bubbles. You can see that on traditional volume. You can see it down here on the candlestick chart itself on TopstepX. You can see the volume being traded. Yeah, man, I really don't want to try to pick the top here of this move. That's all I have from up in this range is a short back down towards VWAP before continuation to the upside. I'd rather look long, but I'm going to see what happens up here. Again, with Dow, I move a little bit differently. Same overall approach as far as market structure, price action, VWAP, horizontal levels, right? Paying attention to the levels that formed during the session, initial balance, maybe the first 15 minutes or 30 minutes. I really don't look too closely at Dow because it's just so back and forth all over the place, and I just like to trade the open the way that I trade it. But I trade from the extremes. I like to get really aggressive entries that give me clean ways to structure risk. That's important to me on Dow because it's so back and forth and the movements are so large. If I start to get involved in the middle of this, it doesn't end well, With NASDAQ and I think Dow, things that move like that, it's not tight trending. They sweep highs and lows. They move all over the place. You should have a pretty damn clear way to structure your risk above a high or a low, a really extreme high or a low, not like just a 1 minute or 5 minute high or low. That's my opinion. When I backtest, when I trade, that's what helps me. Not getting super zoomed in and having a stop loss in an area that's like kind of okay. Maybe I would want to be out if it comes down there, but maybe it bounces like down below here. That's not really going to play nice with you on Dow, at least in my experience. So, obvious looking long, putting all-time highs in, bullish structure overnight, bullish structure right at the open, bearish after the open, especially very aggressively on the other U.S. indices, although not taking that into too much consideration. Short from way up here is the only play. Some kind of reaction like this closer to the highs, I'd be okay with a short back down towards VWAP, back down into the zone. It's a pretty dangerous play up here, though. I'd look for it. I'd look for it if we just get close to that high or potentially sweep that high. Yep, not too much outside of the algorithmic stuff above and below price on Dow. Nothing really helping me out on Bookmap today. At least for the way that I utilize it. There's so many different ways you could use order flow and Bookmap specifically. Tons of different tools and add-ons and different ways that you could read it and interpret it. I pay attention to some really, really obvious big levels that start to stick out. That's kind of my MO on Bookmap. Watching the markets with you guys here on a nice Thursday morning. 11:37. Yeah, this is interesting structure to trade off of. I'm looking long on this, man. A way to structure risk would be pretty sweet. I'm gonna watch how this 5-minute bar forms right here. This is tight. Like I was just talking about, getting involved with just, stops below 5-minute lows and stuff like that. This is tough, right? Right as I said this morning, hopping on here, 100-point structure to trade off of. Like, there is a clear invalidation point, right? In between, getting long here and here, how far can we pull back before coming up to make that fresh high? Anywhere, really. Come back and test VWAP, This, to me, looks like we want to crack highs, though. I'm going to pull Bookmap over to the side here. Dow. Again, just lock it in for a minute here, guys. Watching how this 5-minute candle closes. That's a little indecisive for me. Yeah, again, I like it long from this spot towards the high. I just don't have a good way to structure risk. VWAP is too far away, and right below this low, I'm just not comfortable with. But here's the trade that I'm eyeballing, guys. This is the trade. This is just not great. So let's say I jumped in right at the close of that candle, and we can paper trade it and see what this would look like. Just not comfortable with this stop loss. Again, I have read on direction. I have a reason to look long, and I just don't have a good way to structure risk. Not going to put a trade on that I say, here's my stop loss just based on a 5-minute candle and, about the structure, about the amount of money that I would lose if it comes back down on me. But I'd be comfortable. Yeah, if it came down here and tested VWAP, I think it could still bounce, right? So why am I out up here? Tiny amount of trade, tiny amount of micros to run something like that. Doesn't make sense. Not a good risk to reward structure on something like this. So patient. Sitting patient again, man. That's the name of the game. Till we get some more data. We get this candle that pulls back down maybe, and then something that comes back up and cracks that high, maybe we get a little bit cleaner level of invalidation, right? If this kind of just does whatever it wants to do, sweeps this low, and then we get a nice candle to the upside, maybe we look to take it there. This thing might just blast off from right here, but it also might just come down lower, back down to VWAP. And I would really only look for a crack of the highs because I like this at some point short back to VWAP. At least for right now, based on this structure and what we're seeing right now. Going to continue to change as the day wears on. But we'll hang out if you're on here, man. If you're on here, man, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here with me, hanging out. It'd be pretty boring if I was talking to myself. I appreciate you guys being on. Is there a way other to... So we got a question in the chat. Assume reversal other than a higher high and lower low concept. Sometimes market just goes straight down or up without making a swing high or low. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways. You know, a lot of different tools that you could use. For me specifically, where I'm looking for areas to get in, long or short, where the market may or may not turn, is going to be based on horizontal levels, discretionary horizontal levels. You know, areas of interest on the chart. Simple as that. Price likes to, for let's just call it what it is, studying price, likes to return to areas that were important highs or lows, maybe support and resistance zones if you want to call them that, tested multiple times on the chart. And when it gets there, oftentimes it bounces before it blows through or does whatever it wants to do. So those areas, levels on the chart, can be interesting to pay attention to. You can use a million other tools, a million other technical analysis tools to maybe anticipate a reversal or assume a reversal, or pay attention to a spot on the chart that that price may reverse at. So yeah, my way of doing that is not try to anticipate a reversal, but just try to take a look at areas on the chart where I may want to get involved with the market or ways that I want to structure risk. Pre-market, I'll mark my chart up. That's where the levels come from. During the session, I'm going to pay attention, obviously, to the extremes of the session range, maybe to the 1 hour, initial balance, 1 hour opening range, as long as everything else that forms in between the price action and market structure that prints throughout the day. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Bookmap can help as well. I'll give you that. Big levels of liquidity on the book can be helpful to pay attention to. So there would be that long not working. We're selling back off here, at least for now. Again, I still like this somewhat long. I'm interested to see what happens if we come back down to VWAP, man. That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, I could go for something down here. I could go for something down here, which we might get. Let's take a look. Yeah, retest near VWAP. Looking to the upside. I'm okay with that. If I'm wrong, we need to come all the way back down. This is just a quick pull back up before continuation, and we come down and fill this gap. Stop loss down below this low would be great. If I'm right and we're going to continue higher, maybe put a fresh high in, it's a pretty nice risk to reward. So that's what I'm looking at right now based on this structure. Test the VWAP somewhere down around this area and then a continuation. I would look to aggressively enter down here, really aggressive. Would give me, again, a clean point to structure risk. Downside is you're not waiting for a lot of confirmation and price can just absolutely blow through. But that's the way that I like to run my entries on Dow more often than not. So I'm going to look for something along these lines. We may not get that. We may just want to test this kind of area here, this zone right here, coming off these highs. But I'm looking where VWAP is, maybe right above it even for an entry. Wouldn't have to put too much risk on with one contract, maybe $300 of risk for a whole lot of reward. Just cracking the high would be a 2-to-1. I'd probably be out before that, to be completely honest with you. But that's what I'm looking at. That is what I'm looking at. Following this bullish structure, right? If we zoom way out, we're pushing to the upside here. Pushing to the upside for the morning. Chopped around. Sellers had a chance to take this thing lower. Right down here, right? We did hold VWAP, and this looked like we were going to come lower because we were just hammering into it multiple times. We came lower and it was bought right back up. This could just end up being a choppy, expanding type of a day, in which case I'd be getting caught in the middle of that. But that's okay. I'll put the risk on if something makes sense. So that's the next setup that I'm looking at right here. Something like that. I like the VWAP line as well. Even if we are going to come lower, Dow, as you could see, not right here, right? You can see it there. Loves to test the VWAP line. Loves to bounce around the VWAP line. Even if we are going to come lower, I think it's less likely that we just slice absolutely through it right to the ground. Can certainly happen. But even if we bounce a little bit, it can give me a way to get stop loss to break even, to structure risk before it absolutely turns to the downside. Maybe we kind of chop around and give me a way to, lower my stop loss to a new area that makes sense. On this structure, I don't know that I would with all of this type of movement. I'm not sure that I really would reduce my risk. But that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. That's what I'm eyeballing. Again, as data is printing, price action and market structure, I'm applying my discretion and reading volume and bookmap as well. Coming up with areas that I want to get involved with the market that present ideal ways to structure risk. That's it. Simple as that, guys. Don't have to make it too complicated. This could be the bearish move, though, right? This could be just, I'll make the case against it. You could be reading this and say, hey, dude, if we crack VWAP, like I'm looking short. I think we're going to come down and fill this gap, and that stat's going to play out. I think we had a chance to move higher here, and we didn't. Buyers have failed, and, that's going to be that. You can go that route as well. You could say, hey, look, we got, kind of this double top getting put in here, and now we're going to continue lower. There's a case to be made for long or short almost every single tick and point printed in the market. And remember that. Every time you're going long, someone else is going short. It can be helpful to remember. Yeah, man. It feels kind of choppy. It does feel kind of choppy, but that's the closest point on the chart that I'd look to get involved at. And we're coming down into it, so let's see. Let's see. See what Dow has in store for us. Straight from VWAP, 55, 60 points to the lows. But maybe we don't. Maybe we just bounce right here and I miss my entry. But here's what I'm looking at, guys. Right here for an entry to the upside. What's up, bro? One loss, one win. Break even on the day. Put the trade breakdown in Discord. Awesome, man. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. Yeah, YM ain't doing it. I feel you, man. I feel you. This is choppy, right? This is very choppy back and forth. Awesome, man. Nice. Caught the move back up on this nice big engulfing candle here. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Made a whole $1 today. That's good. Yeah, no, it's tough price action, man. Tough price action. Yeah, man. I was talking about. Had a couple guys commenting in Discord. Yeah, that one guy blew up really bad yesterday. That's that's some bad tilt, man. It's hard. I think there's always another level, right? Like people, the comments are like, how could you blow up? How do you know not to do that if you're that experienced? How do you know? How are you able to pull $16,000, $30,000, trading days, and then lose the accounts and proceed to blow 15 combines back to back to back to back to back? Um, I think it comes with that increased. It's always a hill that you're climbing, right? And as you're increasing risk and sizing up, that same emotion that you feel when you first start trading and you first get into live accounts, you first get into funded accounts and XFAs, it starts to creep back in, right? As you size up and that P&L number starts to fluctuate a whole lot more, you got to face those demons again. And I think that's where it comes from. There's a great example from Best Loser Wins by Tom Hogard. It's the tightrope example. And he talks about trading being like walking on a tightrope. Technically, it's the same if the tightrope is 1 inch off the ground or if it's 10 feet off the ground or 100 feet off the ground, right? You're still just walking across that same tightrope, the same distance. What changes? The risk involved. And almost everybody might be able to walk across, or really easy to walk across tightrope for this example. That's 1 inch off the ground, because if you fall or you're about to fall, you just step off and you step right back on. No harm, no foul. You hop off, you start over again. If the tightrope's 100 feet off the ground, it's the same thing, right? You're still trading the same way, same system, nothing changes, but a lot changes, right? The risk changes. Now you fall off and it's not, $100, it's $100,000, or it's, $5,000, whatever the numbers are. So that risk starts weighing on your mental side. The psychology behind managing that ever increasing amount of risk that we aim to when we size up in trading is a serious challenge. And I think that's where we see a lot of those blowups happen from experienced guys, from top, for our space, big traders, right? Guys that are able to put these big numbers up to take these big payouts, and they still have to continue to face that. And I think it's a challenge that you have to recognize is going to be there. Otherwise, you get overconfident. You think you got it all figured out. And, maybe you were able to handle the losing streaks and the win streaks when you were trading, 2 contracts instead of 15 contracts. And now when you're trading 15 contracts, it's a whole different game. So that was a tough one, man. It was hard to see. And I saw a lot of supportive comments. Almost everybody was like, backing the guy up and nice stuff. But I've seen a lot of other guys posting about that stuff, which is great. Builds the reality of what's going on for most guys. And a lot of the time it's, how do you blow up like that? Like, dude, don't you know better? Like, where's the discipline? And yeah, it's all valid, right? Like you want to get down to it. But I think that's where it comes from. It's that ever increasing risk management that you have to handle, and that psychology. You have to continue to battle those demons to be able to get yourself comfortable with watching that type of a P&L swing. So that was a tough one. That was a tough one to watch. And obviously that was a lot of tilt, a lot. He carried on for a while there, man. And it's tough, right? We've all been there to some degree or another. But that's a tough break, man. I also think once you achieve that level, right? Like you're having, like, for that guy, $10,000, $20,000 days, it's tough to have like a small day, or, a small red day, or even a larger red day, and try to always be fighting back to that huge size, that big size. And the market just might not be working with you. Maybe you're dealing with YM like me right now, and it's just chopping around. And you said, okay, well, I did 10,000 the day before, and 5,000 the day before, and 20,000 the day before that. Why did I lose 5,000 today? I know what I'm doing. Let me just keep going. And you dig yourself a hole, man, an absolute hole. So different challenges kind of as you go up, even if you are experienced, you're able to hit these big milestones. It is this kind of never ending challenge that you have to face when it comes to discipline, to following your system, your risk management, whatever rules you have for yourself, and managing more risk. It's always going to be there as you size up. Yes, you get confident in your system, you get confident with trading, you get better at trading, but that psychology of risk management is always there. And as you turn the dial up and you move the tightrope up from 1 foot off the ground to 10 feet off the ground to 100 feet off the ground, that challenge gets, gets different. It's the same thing, but it's not the same thing. So I think that's where a lot of that comes from, man. It's tough though. Yeah, no problem, Alex, man. Good to see you in Discord. Someone asks, again, guys, feel free to chat in Discord, man. That's what I'm watching. I'm really not paying attention too much to the YouTube live chat because I just got so many trolls in there over the past few weeks. But someone asked how to size up properly. Slowly, right? Like, how would you make yourself comfortable, continuing the example, walking across a tightrope? If you wanted to walk across a tightrope 100 feet in the air, you would walk across it while it's on the ground 100 times or 1,000 times. You'd get super comfortable. You'd be able to do it with your eyes closed. And then you wouldn't just move it to 100 feet. You'd move it up 1 feet, right? And then you get comfortable there. And then you move it up 5 feet from there. And you get comfortable there. So what's the logical answer? Size up slowly, right? Get comfortable at each level as you go. Because you're going to face that. I don't care who you are. I think you're going to face that. That's my opinion. I don't know many guys that say, I learned how to trade and I started small and then I immediately, went to $1 million live account and it wasn't a challenge for me at all. I wasn't worried at all about watching what most people make in a month swing before my eyes. It's a challenge. So I would do it slow and be aware of that every step of the way and monitor yourself. Journal. Am I feeling a type of way about this? Emotions creeping in. Not able to think objectively. All of those things. That's how I would size up. And recognize the risk that comes with sizing up. That's the other piece. Dang, man. I'm watching this market start to move without me. Here was my entry, guys. This is what I was looking for. Test a VWAP. Right? I'm not arbitrarily getting long with no spot. Yes, we just tapped the high of this zone, but discretionary level at very best in the middle. Really, my game plan in my mind is as soon as we started coming down towards this, I'm going to mark it in with 1 stop loss down below this low and target a move to the upside, which looks like it's coming. That would have presented some nice risk structure, but we don't have that yet. As we start to bounce, the trade is getting farther and farther away from happening, right? Now we are putting this type of structure in. If we come back down, is it as appealing? Oh, hopefully we don't do that. Is it as appealing to look for this type of trade? No, for me, it's not. So maybe you say, this is perfect for me. I wanted to get long. I've got confirmation now, right? I'm going to get long over here or over here. I'm going to run a tighter stop loss or down just below VWAP, and I'm going to target that move to the upside. Just not giving me the entry that I need. That's what I'm seeing so far. Again, appreciate you guys being on here. Looking for a trade, man. Looking for a setup. Just need something. Need something on this structure to allow me to get in. Aggressively or with price action, to be honest. A lot of movement, just not setting up. This down here, aggressive long. And I'm getting the read right. It's just not reaching the levels that I needed to reach for risk structure and for a valid entry, right? If I said I'm going to mark my chart and put all these levels and zones and all that stuff, and then when it comes to entering, I'm just going to enter too quickly. I'm going to FOMO in whenever I want. I know I want to enter down here and get long, but instead I'm going to enter over here. That's not how we trade. So wait and patient, but it's I'll tell you, man, it's frustrating to hop on these live sessions and just sit around and not take trades. But I will sit here and be slightly frustrated if I have to, because that's trading. And you do it long enough, you start to realize what good trading and what bad trading is. Bad trading is just hopping in, trying to chase opportunity. Price is moving. I can make money. I'm going to trade with no edge. I'm just going to chase price around. I think it's going to go up. I think it's going to go down. I don't have a good way to structure risk, but I'm going to get in anyway. Not a great way to do it. Typically doesn't end too well. But we'll hang out. We'll stay patient. Hour into the stream. 2 setups got close. Here's what I was looking for down here. Right down at that edge full level, actually. Let's say we're running 50-point stop losses, around 50-point stop losses. Down below these lows, that would have been really clean. Back up to VWAP would have been a beautiful one, or even just towards the highs. But back up to VWAP probably would have been what I was looking for on that easy target. Didn't come all the way down. Decided to turn on a dime right here. Right off of, near these highs, but not quite off these highs. All the way back up. Sellers failing to take this thing lower after cracking VWAP, and we tried it so many times. I'm still looking long, following price action and market structure to the upside. Mapped it out a handful of times, was looking for this to continue lower and look for a buy up here. That's my play. Now with this crap, I don't know. I'm going to watch to see what happens here. Again, I like the first test, right? I don't want to do it over here because sometimes this happens. I want it to be pulling back really nice and aggressively, enter aggressively, and go for that first bounce. Now it's not a pullback and a continuation. Now maybe we're getting structure to the downside. So let's see what forms. Still looking long, still looking for an ideal place to get in, and some price action and market structure that gives me the confidence that we have a good chance to continue higher before we continue lower. Again, not much to show you guys on Bookmap, but I will show you anyway. Not a whole lot. Not a whole bunch. No big serious standout levels that I'm really looking at. Not anything besides this just algorithmic stuff above and below price that seems to track it. No huge standout levels above or below price that would really give me another area on the chart to pay attention to. Maybe some indication that we are likely to move towards that level, or be cautious of it if I'm trading away from it. We are coming lower at the moment. There's some volume behind it. But again, man, if you're on the stream, feel free, hit like, hit subscribe. I appreciate you guys being on. As promised, like yesterday, man, I'm going to try to find some time to get on earlier in the day. So long as it fits my schedule. I reserve the morning NYSE Open for my focus trading and for the guys that I work with one-on-one in my one coaching program. If you're interested in that, feel free to hit me up. You can book a call through Discord. We could talk for 30 minutes about that. Great results working with guys. So likely won't be the morning session unless I mix 1 or 2 in there. But right after that, 10:30, 11, 11:30, 12. If the market's still moving, I'll look for that. Maybe earlier in the afternoon. Power hour has been like a snooze fest, or just crazy structure to be dealing with at the end of the day. So I tried to go for power hour after doing like, afternoon trading sessions, 12:30 p.m., that type of deal. And I can't seem to time it for great setups. Dad, what are we doing, bro? What is this? What are we doing here? Still looking long, like gun to my head. I'm taking it long, but not a good way to structure risk. Not without testing VWAP. I think we're coming to test the highs. I really do. But I thought that up here, right? And look what we did first. Where would I have had a stop loss? All the way down here? That doesn't make sense. Where do we go stop loss on this after we pulled back and now have failed to go higher and are kind of just slowly chopping around? I'll tell you, whatever trade I do find, if I do get one on, I think it's going to take a year and a day to play out after the volatility of the morning starting to slow down, man. But I'm going to chill with you guys. Like I said, we will hang out. We will wait patiently. And we will be ready to execute our trades without reservation or hesitation when our edge presents itself, in the wise words of Mark Douglas. If you guys know, I love Trading the Zone like everybody else. You know why? It's a great book. Read the popular stuff. Read Trading the Zone by Mark Douglas. Best Loser Wins by Tom Hogard. Mental Game of Trading by Jared Tendler, and all of the other ones that you hear people read. Hop in Discord and ask me for a book list if you've read all of those three and you want more of them. There's a lot of other great ones out there, man. But I've listened to Trading the Zone, getting close to probably 5 times or 6 times, because I listen to it on repeat again. I work out, go to the gym, hop on the bike or go on a run, and I listen to audiobooks. And that one is one that I listen to over and over and over again. I really study it because it's just so powerful on the mental side. Again, maybe you don't find that so, but I do. I think it really can help to remember the game that we're playing here, that we don't need to know what's going to happen next to make money. That's a crazy powerful one from Mark Douglas. When I first heard that, I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Of course, you need to know what's going to happen next. You need to know if it's going to go up or down, right? You don't need to know what's going to happen next on this individual trade. Random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that defines an edge. Powerful quote. Super powerful. Love that one as well. Flipping a coin. That's what we're doing here, guys. Not in the sense that it's completely random and 50-50. It demonstrates that in the short term, it's very random. The next trade that I put on here with you guys right here, right now, very random outcome. Can't tell you whether it's going to be a winner or a loser with really any degree of certainty. What I can tell you is if I approach the market with some consistent edge over a large sample size of trades, I can have a nice, predictable outcome as long as the sample size is large enough. That's the same thing as flipping a quarter. You don't know if you're going to get heads 3 times or tails 3 times in a row when you start flipping it. But you can be pretty damn sure that over 1,000 flips, you're going to get really, really close to that 50-50 probability of heads versus tails. So when you start to recognize that stuff, man, trading becomes a lot easier. You're able to focus on actually just trading and not worrying about the outcome of every next individual trade. Just focus on the chart. It really takes away trying to YOLO things and just put too much weight on one individual trade as well. If you are going to put a lot of weight and leverage behind trades, like I do in combines and some of XFAs, you accept the risk. You know that you don't know what's going to happen next. Every movement in the market is unique. Another quote from the book. And you just put those trades on, and you let the outcomes play out. So if you haven't read that, you're living under a rock. I know everybody talks about it because it's a fantastic book. Rest in peace, Mark Douglas, for sure. Best Loser Wins, Tom Hogard, another super popular one. Very similar. Mindset books. Mental Game of Trading, another really, really popular one. That one's solid. Steve Ward's books are great. The Psychology of Financial Risk-Taking. I forget the author for that one. It's got a blue cover. That one's pretty sweet. I got a handful of other ones, man. Market Wizards, Phantom of the Pits, all these different books. I love the stuff on mindset. You want to read Naked Forex about why you don't need indicators, or technical analysis books. Those are out there too. But I'm not a book guy. Don't read a lot. I listen to all this stuff on audiobook when I work out, when I train, and I absolutely run through them. So it's helpful, man. Would recommend that to anybody, no matter what stage you are in the game. Man, yeah, so not as good of a trade here, guys. This is just showing me more chop, right? So here's how I'm reading this. Zoom out. Here's how I'm reading the markets today. Bullish during the overnight session, right? Let's say up to here because this is 9:30. If we zoom out, we know what's been going on in the US markets. Big tear to the upside, right? I don't really take this into too much consideration because I'll go long or short, based on what's going on for the day. And we have plenty of short opportunities in there. But looking very bullish, right? We pull back down. We test VWAP a bunch of times after cracking the highs, putting all-time highs in. Crack below VWAP. This is looking really good for shorts, right? This is bought right the hell back up, and we get cracked right back up above here. I like this for long off VWAP if we continued down right here, aggressive move to the downside, wherever it wants to go in here, and then we turn and burn to continue. And now we are putting higher highs in, and we got that just really tight trend that just continues to the upside. We didn't get that just now, right? We've got chop forming. We pulled back up and pulled down, and I thought, okay, Reed was right. I just didn't get my entry. I'm going to miss it by, 20 points or so, and this is just going to blast off. Now we don't have that. We've pulled up. Sellers took it a little bit lower, pulled back down to this area, and now we had a chance over the last, 20 minutes to take it higher, and sellers are taking it lower again. Is this as appealing to me for a long from the middle of this choppy ass range? Not really. Not really. Gun to my head, I still like it. Long instead of short, but this is now just more directionless. Look at the session that we're having here, That's how I try to view this stuff. What are we looking at right now? We're failing to break the highs. We cracked initial balance low down here. It was bought right back up. Very choppy. Very choppy, just all up around these highs, which is cool. Market might just do that. But I'm looking for something to continue, right? If I have to trade from the middle of this range, somewhat long, looked okay as we were coming down, but with this here, I'd still go for it with off the VWAP, but not as appealing, man. Really not as appealing. That's my thought process here, guys. That's what I'm seeing on Dow. Sitting around, watching the market do whatever the hell it wants to do. Got a big level on Bookmap that looks like it just came on. The 400s. That's interesting. Let's see if we crack VWAP and come down to this level. That could be a little bit helpful. Just came on the book at about 2 minutes ago. No, off the book. It's algo BS. Yeah, I'd still look long down around VWAP. That's my game plan. Choppy, but that's really my only other opportunity for this this session right now. That's what I'm looking at. You guys got questions? Feel free. Ask in Discord. Ask in the chat. You got to subscribe to be able to ask in the chat. And if you ask me dumbass questions or stuff that I answer a bajillion times in Discord, or not trading related, or about some result, I'll just ignore it. But happy to talk trading with you guys while we're hanging out here, man. Choppy, man. Choppy. Let's see what we got on ES. Interesting. Interesting. Somewhat bullish structure from ES. Looking to the upside here. We did crack all the way down below. Here was initial balance low right here. Right, 1030. Cracked that low, and now we're all the way back above VWAP. Looking like we're kind of just creating a trend to the upside, breaking, retesting. Does the bottom fall out and we just continue? Or just move to the downside? Or does this move continue back up to the highs? That's looking actually a little bit nicer. And NASDAQ. Yeah, NASDAQ's looking decent as well. Are we just pulling back up here off these lows before continuing lower? Or is this nice double bottom going to continue to the upside? We'll hang out and see, man. Hour 15 in, no trade. Again, man, sitting here with not a whole lot of anything. I'm going to hang with you guys and see if we can get something. That's my game plan. I'm going to give it till about, 12:45-ish, something like that. Closer to 1 o'clock Eastern. So we'll make it a longer one. Hopped on the morning. Wanted to get this thing in with you guys in the morning. And here we are hanging out. Chilling out. Watching markets. Guys got questions, feel free. Ask away in Discord. Hop in the free Discord if you're not already. Yeah, man. That's a painful one. Watching the boys in Discord, sharing some stuff. I'll talk to you guys later if you're on here from Discord. If you're sharing charts and stuff, I'll keep that personal. Keep that personal in Discord. Mario, my man. Dude's been around since the beginning. Really bad price action. Yeah, really bad, right? Like what am I supposed to do here, guys? What is this? What in the Lord's good name are we looking at here? I'm working with it, trying to, but this ain't it, as the kids say. This just ain't it. Thanks for hopping on, Mario. Appreciate you being here, man. Like you said, no good zone for a stop loss. Yeah, man. 100%. Where do you get a stop on this? There's so much structure, and this can happen after news, right? Where you end up with just a really big extreme or really just tearing to the upside, tearing to the downside type of price action. And it doesn't give you a really good invalidation level. And that's just as important, if not the most important thing that you should be focusing on when you get into a trade or when you're getting ready to get into a trade. Where does my stop loss has to go? How much risk do I have to take on to get my stop loss there? And what does that look like relative to where my take profit is going to go? That all has to make sense on the front end. You might have a great read and say, I think the market's going up because we're bullish on the daily. We're, breaking to the upside, MA crossover, whatever crazy thing you want to use. How do you structure risk on that trade? What's the upside opportunity? Where's the invalidation point? That's the stuff that you have to ask yourself before you jump into a trade. Whether or not you have a good reason to get into a trade, long or short, you got to have a clean invalidation point, or you should. Where do I want to get out of this trade? If it comes down and I'm long, I no longer want to be long. I might even look short at this point. I'm dead wrong. That should be your stop loss. If it's before that point and you say, well, yeah, maybe it could come down here, which is actually below my stop loss, and then continue to the upside, that's not a good invalidation point. That's how you end up getting stopped out and then getting really frustrated when the market just rips back in your direction. Or you get stopped out and you jump back in repeatedly. You try the same trade 47 times. If you're scalping for really small moves to the upside, maybe that works for you. For the most part, you want a pretty clean invalidation point that makes sense relative to your target, your upside potential. This is tough. This is tough price action. Really bad price action, as Mario said. I would agree. I would agree, man. Watching this happen, like, Dow moved yesterday. Dow took off like a rocket to the upside. But watching this overnight session, right? Here's session changeover. Here's Asia. Here's coming into London, right? 2:30 a.m. Eastern. Watching this really nice, beautiful trend to the upside. Nice testing of VWAP lines and returning to it even after we crack highs. Like, this is the stuff that I eat up, man. I'm going long after we're sweeping highs. I'm going short after we're sweeping highs back down to VWAP. Targets are getting hit. I'm going long aggressively as we're pushing higher if we pull all the way back down to VWAP. Beautiful trade setups, just super duper nice. Cracking highs, trending to the upside. Then we come into New York, and what the hell is this? Like, what are we doing here? So that's how it goes sometimes. We saw it the last couple weeks. Like, we had I forget what day or what week it was, but we had a news print, huge move back up and down, and then like nothing. And then Asia absolutely tore to the upside. Overnight session absolutely ripped to the upside. And then the next day we got straight chop during NYSE session. Everybody was joking around on social media. Like, I guess I got to start waking up and trading, London session, because New York is going to be chop fest and overnight's going to be beautiful, clean trends. So it's kind of what it feels like we're seeing right now here. I'm tempted to still take this long, but it would be from the middle of the trading range of the day. It would be basing off of the thesis that we're going to bounce at VWAP. And I don't like how buyers have not had this thing in control. So I'm going to watch as we come down here, but I'm nowhere near as enthusiastic as to take this thing as I was before. I want to put risk on when it makes sense. I think everybody should be thinking that way. And this looked good for a moment here. This looked good. This looked like volume and volatility picking back up. Definitely had volume onto the downside. This looked good. And then indecision here with quite a bit of volume traded, and then slowly trickling back down. So we got out of this channel that we saw, right? And now we're kind of just chopping back down. Yeah, and the price action itself really, there's days where it seems like candlesticks are forming, forming in a way that, price is really respecting, right? Like, we get some nice engulfing candles, we continue the upside. This is just back and forth. I'm not weighting these individual 5-minute candles very strongly at all. Yep. Whole lot of garbage, man. This week's been interesting. Some decent moves for sure. Always not what you expect, right? Like holiday Monday, we got a big move. Tuesday retraced. Wednesday bounce. Overnight move tonight. Bunch of last night over bunch of chop. Coming into today. It's a lot of nothing, man. But again, man, appreciate you guys being on here. Thanks for being here. Feel free, hit like, hit subscribe. I'll be on here trading live, whether I have to sit here and stare at the markets with you guys while they just do nothing and talk about my trading, talk about trading itself, review stuff from the morning, answer questions. I'll be on here doing it, man. That's my game plan. I'd love to be taking trades with you guys super duper aggressively. But I'm not the jump on and just scalp away for no reason, hoping that I hit a home run, YOLOing stuff to the upside and downside. It doesn't play nice with me. So I'm not going to do that. But I'll be here trading live with you guys. Feel free, hop in the free Discord if you're not already, man. Great group of traders. I'll throw that in the chat. Awesome community. The best free futures trading community. You could hop in here, ask me questions. We could talk about your trading, the good, the bad, the ugly. Get input from guys that are doing well, making money in XFAs, experienced. Get input from guys that are just starting out. Everybody in between, man. Awesome community. Really love that. Plus, you get my analysis, all the information on everything that goes into my trading, answering questions, news every morning. Let you know, hey, we got 8:30 a.m. red folder news today. Might want to pay attention. But on this stuff, guys, I don't think I'm going to watch this much longer. I'm going to wrap it up. Just garbage price action, garbage structure, whole lot of chop. Got excited down here as we were coming lower. Got excited as we pulled back down for a long, right? Was looking long down here on this initial push. I'm not interested from it up here. I don't want to get a stop loss anywhere in between all this stuff. I needed to move where I can get a stop loss down below here. And it just don't look like we're getting that. So I appreciate you guys. Looks like we're going to move to the upside from here without testing VWAP. Appreciate you guys being on here. Thank you. No trade sessions left and right. Like I said, I'll be on here, letting you know, watching for my actual trades. And if there's nothing here, there's nothing here for me. So appreciate you guys being on. Have an awesome day. No live tomorrow, and I will see you live all next week, as well as on Top Step TV Power Hour on Wednesday next week. Talk to you guys in Discord. See you then.